Huge news. Ford's CEO just slammed the brakes on EV production. Stop. This was not supposed to happen. Ford, the company that promised an all-electric future, just hit the brakes. Hard. For years, the message was simple. Gas is over. Electric is inevitable. Adapt or die. Billions invested. Factories retooled. Battery plants rising across North America. The Mustang Mach-E. The F-150 Lightning. A bold, unstoppable charge into the future. And now, production cuts, project cancellations, billions in losses. Something broke. Ford's EV division has been bleeding cash. Not small losses, billions per year. In some cases, analysts estimate Ford was losing massive sums on every electric vehicle sold. Every unit. Negative profit. That's not a growth strategy. That's a warning sign. Meanwhile, gas trucks kept selling. The F-Series kept dominating. SUV kept paying the bills. The uncomfortable truth? Gasoline, not electric, is keeping Ford profitable. And that tension reached the top. Then came the quiet bombshell. A massive 3-row electric SUV? Scrapped. Major crossover EV projects? Delayed. F-150 Lightning production? Scaled back. Shifts cut. Spending trimmed. Battery investments slowed. This wasn't a tweak. This was a reset. And here's what makes it explosive. Ford didn't say, "We're quitting EV." They said something more revealing. They said the first plan wasn't working. That's bigger. Because when a legacy giant like Ford admits miscalculation, the entire industry feels it. But here's the twist nobody expected. Instead of going bigger, Ford is going smaller, cheaper, more aggressive. A $30,000 electric pickup, planned for 2027. Jim Farley is calling it a potential Model T moment. That's not small talk. That's historic ambition. Because if Ford can make EV affordable for regular families, not just early adopters, the market explodes. If they can't, the slowdown becomes a stall. This isn't the end of EV. It's a stress test. A moment where hype met reality, where bold promises met brutal economics, and where one of America's most iconic automakers had to make a choice. Keep burning cash, or slam the brakes before the damage spreads. Ford chose to brake. Now the question is this the smartest pivot of the decade, or the first crack in the EV revolution? The importance of this strategy cannot be overstated. For years, the EV market has been dominated by high-end, expensive models aimed at wealthier buyers. This limited audience has left manufacturers struggling to reach profitability, as only a small fraction of the population can afford $50,000 or $60,000 cars. Tax credits have helped soften the blow for some models, but shifting rules around battery sourcing and government eligibility mean not all vehicles qualify. Ford's Mustang Mach-E, for instance, was disqualified from the main federal tax credit due to battery sourcing changes, leaving it at a disadvantage compared to competitors like Tesla's Model Y. That alone made the Mach-E far less attractive for many buyers, especially when Tesla could advertise an effective price well below Ford's offering. Ford's leadership now understands that the only sustainable way forward is to engineer electric vehicles that can be built cheaply enough to sell profitably at mass market prices without relying heavily on subsidies. That requires more than just new designs. It demands fundamental changes in the way cars are manufactured. Ford's engineers are experimenting with advanced techniques such as consolidating components, using lightweight materials, and simplifying the overall architecture of vehicles. The aim is to mimic some of Tesla's innovations in so-called giga-casting and production streamlining, which allow entire sections of a car to be built as single pieces rather than dozens of smaller parts. This not only reduces costs, but also cuts assembly time dramatically. The new platform Ford is developing has the flexibility to underpin multiple vehicle types. In addition to the compact pickup, it may support a smaller SUV, a ride-hailing focused model, and potentially other low-cost variants. Early indications suggest that Ford could even target a price point closer to $25,000 for certain versions, a figure that would bring EVs within reach for many more households. Battery technology is a key part of this strategy. Instead of sticking solely with expensive nickel-based chemistries, Ford is increasingly looking at lithium iron phosphate batteries, which are cheaper and longer lasting, though somewhat less energy dense. Combined with efficient design, this could still allow ranges of 250 to 300 miles, which is adequate for most daily needs. While Ford retools its EV ambitions, its gas-powered lineup continues to thrive. Sales of traditional vehicles remain strong, with SUVs, pickups, and commercial vans driving billions in profits. In fact, the company has even announced expansions in gas vehicle production, adding jobs at plants that build the Bronco and Ranger, while phasing out slower-selling models like the Escape and Lincoln Corsair to free up resources. The reality is that Ford cannot abandon gasoline vehicles anytime soon. They remain the bread and butter of its global business. But rather than viewing this as a contradiction, Ford appears to be adopting a two-track strategy. Keep the gas lineup strong in the near term, while methodically working on EVs that will make sense in the long term. Critics argue that EVs are plagued with issues ranging from high prices to charging headaches and cold weather battery problems. Some owners have indeed faced challenges, especially in regions with underdeveloped charging infrastructure or in extreme climates where batteries lose efficiency. Repair costs for EV batteries can also be daunting, sometimes running into the tens of thousands. These obstacles have slowed adoption rates, particularly among mainstream buyers who are cautious about paying more for unproven technology. But Ford's leadership sees these issues as surmountable. They believe that once affordable EVs are widely available, paired with continued expansion of fast-charging networks, demand will stabilize and eventually grow. It is worth noting that Ford's strategy is not limited to pure battery electrics. The company is also expanding its hybrid lineup, recognizing that hybrids can serve as a bridge technology for consumers not ready to jump straight into full EV ownership. Hybrid F-150s and SUVs have performed relatively well, offering fuel savings without the range anxiety or charging concerns of pure electrics. By broadening this portfolio, Ford hopes to appeal to a wider range of buyers and reduce its dependence on any single technology. Some dramatic claims have circulated suggesting that Ford is secretly planning a wholesale pivot back to gas cars, or even pursuing hydrogen vehicles in secret as a way to avoid electrification. These stories often mix small pieces of truth with a large dose of exaggeration. Ford is indeed exploring alternative fuels, including hydrogen, as part of longer-term research. But hydrogen remains a niche solution, with infrastructure and cost challenges that make it unlikely to replace mainstream EV development anytime soon. What is really happening is less conspiratorial. Ford is tightening its EV focus, cutting unprofitable projects, and shifting toward designs that actually stand a chance in the marketplace. For now, what's clear is that Ford is not abandoning electric vehicles. It is not closing plants wholesale, nor is it throwing in the towel on the future. Instead, it is trimming the fat, reorganizing priorities, and preparing for a second act that might be smarter, leaner, and ultimately more successful. The company has learned the hard way that hype alone does not sell EVs, nor does chasing trends without a clear path to profitability. What customers want are vehicles that combine value, practicality, and reliability. If Ford can deliver that at prices that ordinary families can afford, it may finally find its place in the electric era. In the end, Ford's journey is less about abandoning EVs and more about growing pains. The early rush to electrify exposed weaknesses in both technology and consumer readiness. Billions were lost, dealers grew restless, and customers hesitated. But rather than giving up, Ford is recalibrating. Gas cars will remain the backbone for years, hybrids will serve as a bridge, and new EVs will target affordability. It is a long and uncertain road, but for a company that once revolutionized the auto industry with the Model T, there remains the possibility that Ford could do it again, with a new kind of vehicle designed for a new era.